So I'm a bit frustrated with the quality of video on this phone, but my phone broke, so I had to get a new one, and I didn't get one that was more expensive with high quality video. So, oh well, I'll get a new one when I get the chance. But I'm not gonna let perfectionism keep me from making videos. So, uh, last time I made a video, it was about a week ago. Uh, and it was right after having a severe anxiety attack, and then I was really depressed the next day. And I'm actually grateful for that because it inspired me to start running, and I have been running hardcore since then. And I had an epiphany that motivated me to really run hard and keep at it. And that was looking at it as spiritual warfare. Now, growing up in the evangelical church, I the concept of spiritual warfare is literal demons, and that when you're attacked, you say, "In the name of Jesus, I renounce you," and all that. What I'm talking about isn't that. The type of spiritual warfare I'm talking about is the type of spiritual warfare you can practice even if you're an atheist and don't believe in the supernatural at all. Um, so to think about the spiritual realm or spiritual experiences, let's say, isn't necessarily something supernatural. It's the experience of the world around you, your consciousness. So whether or not you believe in God, you can be moved by beauty and you know a beautiful scene or a beautiful story. It touches you in your soul. And whether or not believe that there is some supernatural element to your soul, I do, but you don't have to have that experience. And I realized that that anxiety attack and the depression that has plagued me for my entire life is something that I'm going to battle, and I'm going to look at it as a fight, something epic, warfare, spiritual, and um, whether there are literal demons or just your inner demons, you got to battle against those with your just with everything you have. And one of the problems with um, depression and anxiety is that you get this feeling that nothing matters, and you look at the world around you and you just see chaos and dull colors, and you don't feel any sense of purpose or beauty to it. And uh, if you're like, there's something like wrong with me, I'm gonna have to take medication, fix my addled brain, or just do self improvement things, go talk to a therapist and stuff. Those are all well and good, but this past week I realized that looking at your life, all that you go through as a battle for your very soul, metaphorically, thinking about in terms of something epic, uh, really gives a sense of meaning to that. And and is that overly dramatic? No. Okay, because when you go watch an epic movie like, say, Lord of the Rings, and you're like, wow, that's an epic story. Um, you watch it for 3 hours, and you're very moved by how epic everything is. But then the movie ends, and then you go back to your boring old life. Well, guess what? Your boring old life is far more epic than a movie because it's your life. It it matters so much more. There's something so much more epic about um, fighting for your very sanity, and so that to me has been so much more of a motivator than in the past when I thought about it as self improvement. And I thought of it as, well, it's good for me and I gotta go do it. And it sucks and it's painful, but, you know, uh, you know, it didn't, that was enough to get me out of the house, maybe doing stuff here and there. But it was never enough to make me really put out um, that intense effort. Uh, and that can apply to something like running. Running is the best antidepressant that exists. The science says that exercise does is the best antidepressant. It works better than any antidepressant medication you can take. So that's one of the most important things you can do if you can manage it. One of the problems with depression is that it makes you really tired, and sometimes you just got to accept the fact that you just can't make yourself exercise. But it could apply to other, you know, life improvement things like drinking water. That's huge. Like I have to, like, a lot of times I won't drink water and I'll just be tired, and then that causes a downward spiral where you're not hydrated, so you get tired, and because you're tired, you don't get out of bed or off the couch and go exercise, and because that even makes you even more lethargic, and then you start eating junk food, and you're not eating healthy. So so one of the most simple, like, tips that I've realized I need to do besides just exercise is drinking a lot of water. Um, you know, think of yourself as hydrating for the battle. Like, you don't want to go into battle like dehydrated and weak. Go drink that fucking water. And it just occurred to me now, like, maybe think of it as a magical elixir or something. Like, they give you superpowers. I don't know. I haven't tried that, but maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll write like strength potion or something like that, or berserker potion, something like that. You know, that could work. Yeah. Um, I'm just trying to think other, like, self improvement things that are good for you that you don't do. How about socializing? One of the problems with depression is it makes you withdraw and not be social. And so, I've tried to force myself to be social because I know that that connection is really important for your mental health. Maybe maybe I'll start telling myself that I'm not just going to be social and just have nice chit chat. Like, I'm making uh, um, allies on the battlefield. I'm a diplomat, and I'm going out and creating diplomacy with other diplomats from other nations that are going to side with me on the battlefield. And just thinking of that now, I mean, that's if you're looking at life through the metaphor of a battle, or war, um, you need people in your life that will stand beside you and fight with you and give you strength. And so, anyway, um, yeah, after one of the problems that I have with things like running is that So I have an addictive personality. I struggled with addictions in the past. And one of the things that people with an addictive personality will tell you is that they either do something hardcore all the way or they don't do it at all. And that feeds into if you're addicted to something, you just go for it. It's hard to find a balance, a middle ground. And so for me, when I get into running, I get really into running, and then if I'm not running, I don't do it at all. So the problem with it is that once I stop running because it gets too cold or too hot, I stop running, and then I go a long time without doing it. Um, and so I'll do it for a good 2-3 months, and even if I stop, I'll still benefit from that time. But since my accident, uh, I that accident was one of the most significant events that's ever happened to me. It was sort of a death and rebirth, to be honest. And I had a very profound spiritual experience right after, and I realized that I'm starting a new life right now, and so I decided that I don't know if I'm gonna stick to it and keep running even when it gets cold, but right now in the beginning of stages, I have the ability to make a choice what kind of life I want to live. And I realize that I need to make exercise just part of my lifestyle. It's not optional. Um, you have to do it. And another thing that's helped motivate me is realize it just became crystal clear that the only way that I was going to guarantee that I don't have more anxiety attacks is through exercise. Uh, because it's proven to work, and thankfully I haven't had any like bad anxiety attacks since then. And I I realized that the hell of an anxiety attack is so horrific, even if it only lasts a few minutes. It is utter hell. That brief period of hell is so bad that the pain of going for a run and pushing yourself hard is nothing. And I've known that for a long time, but it never you know motivated me to do it because I didn't see how crystal clear how important it was. And the other thing is, they say that I don't know if this is true or it was from a verified source, but I feel like I remember somewhere hearing that for basic mental health, you need at least 20 minutes of exercise a day. It might have been 20 minutes of sunshine, but anyway, humans are not meant to be sedentary. There are animals out there that are built for a sedentary lifestyle. Human beings are not. Our caveman ancestors would chase down their prey until some of the bushmen in Africa still today they will chase an antelope for like 3 days straight. And you think that other animals are a lot faster than humans, which they normally are, but they tire out because they're not distance runners. So they'll do really intense running until they tire it out. So that's why I'm going for you know long periods. And so I decided that my standard for running is at no less than 20 minutes. Now, if you don't have it in you to do it, just go out for 5 minutes, go out for 10 minutes, because sometimes it used to be that if I would go out to run and like within seconds I'd be like, no, nope, not gonna happen, because my standards were too high. And so I started giving myself permission to go for shorter runs. But if you have it in you, go for longer. And I've had it in me recently to do it. And so one day I ran an hour and 20 minutes, and then I went back out for another 20 minutes. That's pretty intense. Today I went out for 30 minutes, and then I went out for another 20. And so I don't want to just achieve just a baseline of mental health. I want to, well, I mean, I do want to achieve a baseline, but because I struggle with depression and anxiety, it's not enough to do 20 minutes. I have to do it more than that because I don't want to live always just on the edge of just falling apart and getting depressed or anxious. I want to put those as far behind me as I can. So, those are my thoughts. Yeah, looking at life through the metaphor of spiritual battle. Um, some stuff I've learned about exercise and running. Um, yeah, and if you have a hard time running and you just can't make yourself get out there and do it, what when I used to do track and cross country in high school and I hated it. It was just painful, and I did it because it was good for me, but I was miserable. It was only after you know I got done with college that I realized that I need to just start running short segments, and I would make sure I ran um, just long enough that it didn't become painful at first. 10 minutes, you stop before it hurts. And then I would find myself wanting to go another an extra 5 minutes, so 15 minutes, then 20 minutes. And it eventually, even if it became painful, the endorphins kicked in. And so if you can do that, once you go long enough, you can keep pushing yourself further and further, and you will get the runner's high. And so what I've discovered is that if I can make it to 20 minutes, I can go another 5 minutes. If I can go another 5 minutes, I can go another five. And that can stretch out to be an hour sometimes. But yeah, so the other principle that I practice is whatever time frame you plan on running, or if you get that for me that first moment where I'm like, okay, I'm exhausted. I've ran for 20 minutes. I'm ready to go. Just go an extra 5 minutes. Just always push yourself a little bit further than you had intended to, and that can end up turning into way further than you were planning on. So, yeah, no more self improvement for me. No more life hacks. Although life hacks are great, and I do want to make some more videos about those life hacks, and I'll probably make my next one on using a timer and practicing delayed gratification. So, yep, those are my thoughts. All right, peace out. If you watched this whole video, you're awesome.